Hello, today we are going to learn about midpoints. So the goal for today is to say I can determine midpoints using using a formula, or not using a formula, whatever works best for you. So midpoints is the key. Uh, Now by the end of the day, we should be able to uh, be able to find a coordinate of an endpoint given a midpoint, and you can use algebra to solve word problems based on understanding midpoint. And we'll understand that more as we get along. First off, we need to understand what a midpoint is. So if I had, well, a midpoint, it's a point halfway between the endpoints. So there's two endpoints, and you want to find the point halfway. First, we're just going to do a one-dimensional graph. I want to find the midpoints of the blue, that's here, and the green points. So what is the number between 2 and 6? Hopefully you can just look at this and see that 4 is right in the middle. But if, we need to think a little bit more generally because problems are going to get tougher. So how to find the middle of any two numbers, we add them, 2 plus 6, and then we divide by 2. So that's 8 divided by 2, which gives us 4. So 4 is the midpoint between 2 and 6. Now, let's take a look at this next question. What is the midpoint of the pink and the blue dot? So that's between -7 and 2. Here it gets a little trickier. It's not easy to see what's in the middle. Hopefully you see it somewhere around here. But the point right in the middle, to use our math again, we're going to take -7, add it to 2, and then divide by 2. -7 plus 2 is -5. -5 over 2 is -2.5. So -2.5 is my midpoint of the pink and the blue dots. So if we think about a formula, let's say this is our x1, this is our x2. What we do is we add those two x's together and then divide by 2. Hopefully that makes sense. Now we're going to get a little bit more complicated. We're going to have a point. So if I have this point, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, that's -6. It doesn't go up or down, so we'll call that 0. This point is -1, 3. The midpoint is the place in the middle here, which is exactly in the middle of this two-dimensional space. So now we're not just having one number, we're having two numbers. We do the same exact thing to find the distance between the x's. We're going between -1 and -6. We add those together, -6 plus -1, and we divide by 2. That's going to be -7 over 2, or -3.5. Now in our y direction, we're going from 0 to 3, so we do the same thing. 0 plus 3 divided by 2, which is 3 divided by 2, which is 1.5. So this point is 3.5 to the left, 1, 2, 3, half, up 1.5. So that's our midpoint with the point -3.5. Oops. I'll undo that. I must have hit a button. -3.5, comma 1.5. That is our middle. So now when we come up with a formula, if we look at this, we're going to add our x1 and x2 and divide by 2. We're going to add our y1 and y2 and divide by 2 to get a formula that looks like this. Take a second, pause it if you need to, and take down those notes. All right, now we have a couple examples. So from this point to this point, the first thing we need to do is find the values. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. That's 5 to the right and 2 up. Over here is 3 to the left and 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So -3, 5. Now over here we have 3 to, let's do this one first. Shouldn't get too far ahead of myself. So now we take the x values, There's the x and there's the x. And we add them together. And we divide by 2. Then we take the y values, 5 and 2, add them together, and divide by 2. So this will be 2 over 2, which is 1. This will be 7 over 2, which is 3.5. So I'm going to go 1 to the right, 3.5 up. This looks like it's right on the line, and that looks right in the middle. 1, 3.5 is the midpoint. Now, if you're understanding this, I would pause the video and try to do number 3 on your own. All right, hopefully you're done. This would be 3, -1. And over here is the point -5, -2. So I take my x values, -5 plus 3 over 2. My y values, -2 plus -1 over 2. Now if I add them, I get -2 over 2, which is -1. This is -3 over 2, which is -1.5. So if I check -1, -1.5, and that's my value. All right, now we're going to get to a tricky part. We have a point and a midpoint, and we want to find the other endpoint. So there's a segment, starts here, goes somewhere out here, and we need to figure out what exactly is the midpoint. So what I like to do here is I like to see how much we go up and how much we go over to get to the midpoint. I went up 3 and to the right 2. So at the midpoint, I'm going to do the same exact thing. Up 3 over 2, and then I'll find this point. Now I just have to label that. That's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and up 1, 2, 3, 4. So that's 5 to the right, 4 up. Now let's look at a pattern that has come out of this. Ooh, that should be 1, -2. Now if you were just given these 2 points and you want to find them, what I would do is see, how did I get from 1 to 3? I added 2. So to get to my other endpoint, I continue that, add 2, add 2. Now if I'm at -3 or -2 and I go up to 1, I add 3. So I have to add 3 again to get to this other endpoint. All right. Now in this example, we want to find which one is the midpoint. Now if you just draw a line, there is only one reasonable option, but you can see how many you go up, 3, and then over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you go up 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and you can see that Starbucks is exactly in between the 2 houses. All right, we have a couple other words that we need to know. Bisect and congruent. Now bisect means you're going to cut a line into 2 different parts. There's a segment, line, or plane that intersects a segment at its midpoint. You can also bisect angles as well. It's just cutting something in half. Congruent, those are things that have the same measure. So if 2 angles are the same size, we say that they're congruent. And we do so with a squiggly line and like an equal sign below it. So if I have, this is AB, and it's the same size as CD, we can usually show that with a line through it, and we'll write AB is congruent to CD. All right, now we're going to use some algebra. This is the second learning target. Suppose, or second success criteria, I should say. Suppose V is the midpoint of UW. Step 1, we're going to want to draw this. So I'm going to draw something, and I'm going to say UW is my line segment, and V is the midpoint. Now we label. 4A plus 3 is over here, and 15 minus 2A is over here. Now we have to set up an equation. What do I know about this side and this side? If it's a midpoint, these two are going to be congruent. So the third thing is I set up an equation. So 15 minus 2a is equal to 4a plus 3. So I would add 2a to both sides. 15 is equal to 6a plus 3. Subtract 3 on both sides. 12 is equal to 6a. Divide by 6, and 2 is equal to a. So then we just need to solve and substitute. So to substitute, it tells us what the length of UW is. That's this whole length. If I substitute the 2 in, 2 times 4 is 8. 8 plus 3, this distance is 11. And if that's the midpoint, this has to be 11 as well. So the whole distance, UW, is going to equal 22 units. All right, so now hopefully you know the formula for midpoint, and it makes sense because that's the point in the middle. Hopefully you can do the success criteria at the end, give them a shot, and see how well you do.